Welcome to Goblins and Aliens. Let's base some models. For my first base, I will be using these textured paints you can get from Games Workshop. This here is Armageddon Dust. It's a very gritty, sandy type texture. And this one here is Agrolent Earth. It comes out like a crackle paint. I will be using an old screwdriver to mix and apply the Armageddon Dust, and a done-in paintbrush to apply the Agrolent Earth. First of all, I'm going to remove these models from their bases, set them aside nicely. The whole point of these texture paints is that you're able to apply them after the model's been painted, but I don't particularly enjoy doing that because there's a chance of getting the texture paint all over the bottom of the model. The way we address that is by simply doing it first, then priming. And then just simply lather it on and just splodge it around. As you can see, this is a brownie colour. It is designed for washes and dry brushes. Just slab it on. The thicker it is, the more it crackles. Now you can mix both of these together side by side for a neat effect, but for this we're just going to show you them in their raw format. That's the standard bases done. Quick and easy. Just apply the base, allow it to dry, then apply your wash and a quick dry brush. Simple. So moving on to my personal favourite products to use, and that's cat litter. Make sure it's dry and clean with this gritty stuff. I've separated it into the finer stuff and the chunkier stuff. You can use a sieve to do that. And the other one are these wine corks. You can cut them into little bits, crumble them up. Brilliant use for basing or even as a handle. And then when you start to do some sub-assembly, you'll get more use out of these again. So this festive period, make sure you collect as many of these as you possibly can. You're going to need some PVA glue. I'm just using this wood glue. A sheet of paper, you'll see why, and something to apply your glue with. Here we go. So big dollop on this piece of wood. Going to use an old done-in paintbrush to apply it, and it's as simple as pasting it exactly where you want to paste it. Dip in, tap off any excess, and that's you with a quick base, cheap and cheerful. When you prime this, you can paint whatever colour you want. Now if you got even more finer stuff, mix that in. You want to give it that variation. Now you can strategically place some bigger bits on there. Probably best do it when the bottom layer of glue is still damp. That will allow you to move the finer stuff around a bit. For hero models, I like to raise them up on the base a bit. So for this, I'm going to cut a chunk of cork off. So I'm just going to place my blade in and I'm going to give it a spin so I'm not dragging the knife around, creating a zone of cutting of fingers. So you chop that off, done. That gives you an extra bit of layer. Now, it will look a bit daft as it is, so I'm going to break it up a bit and make it look like Shattered Land. So when you've got all your bits of cork smashed up and ready to go. Just do a few dry fits to make sure that it's gonna be the angle that you want, and then just apply your PVA glue. So, quite like that to just be random at the bottom there. Whilst it's drying, you can always add in some extra grit from your cat litter tray, box I should say, just to give it some variety. And when that dries, you'll be left with something that looks very much like this, which is cool. So another thing I'm going to do with this is cut up some paper clips and then straighten them out and push them into just a few little points to make it look like rebar, as if it was a real destroyed building. Alternatively, you could use these cages that the champagne corks come in. And that's our cheap DIY base is done. I'm very happy with the results, especially with this hero, or the captain, who's got a raised base with that rebar and cork. That works really well. So, and also done one with strips of cardboard that I've cut into what looks like floor tiles and then a bit of rubble. I'm not going to show you how to cut cardboard, I'm sure you all know how to do so. When you've got used to dealing with a simple basing and you want to spend some of your pocket monies, there are a few things to get. You can get these Citadel skulls, or you can get these grass tufts. These are easy things to get hold of and add to your bases that you've already made, or just create something new with them. In regards to using these skulls, it is simply snip them off with the sprue, quick cleanup, and glue it onto your base. And just place the skull with a little dollop of super glue underneath and position it exactly where you want it to be. For this base, I'm going to combine the DIY cheap texture materials, some of the things I've bought like the skulls and texture pastes, and have fun, make it as interesting as I can. And that's the beginner-friendly basing complete. It's dead simple, it's fun, you should give it a try. There are plenty of things you can use that you have at home. Try not to go mad and spend all your money straight away until you've learned all the basics. Please consider liking, subscribing, and if you've got any questions or just like to say anything, drop it in the comments below. Until the next video, thank you and take care.